Okay.
All right. Hold the line for me, Sister Williams. Please hold the line, Sister Williams. Okay, Sister Rachel. God bless you, woman of God.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Hello, Sister.
We want you to keep it locked right here on Omega Radio. At this time, we're going to be joined in by our proud sponsor. Yes, that's Dr. Mark Hardy right here on Omega Radio. Keep it locked in and don't touch the dial.
Selling or investing in real estate in Florida? Join Bishop Mark Hardy of Coldwell Banker along with Tanya Palmer Lodge and Earon Lee of Century Point Lending Solutions right here on Omega Radio every Monday at 11 a.m. for Let's Talk Real Estate, as they share with you everything you need to know to be successful in the real estate market.
Hey, good morning, and welcome again to your favorite real estate program on Omega Radio. Yes, this is Let's Talk Real Estate, and I am glad to be back with you, and certainly I trust that you have been having a good day so far. It promises to be a good day and a good week, and we are pleased to be with you again. I am Mark Hardy of Coldwell Banker, and with me in studio is one of our top mortgage broker, Earon Lee from Century Point Lending Solutions. How are you doing, Earon?
Good morning, Mark. I'm doing pretty good this morning, feeling blessed, feeling well. Miss Tanya is not here with us. She's not feeling so good this morning, but we wish her all the best and a speedy recovery, and looking forward to having her back in this chair next week.
Certainly. I was absent for a couple of weeks, but you guys held the fort very well.
Well, I hope whatever you guys are spreading around, I don't get it. So
certainly, we want you to be healthy and able to cater to your clientele.
Absolutely.
Well, as we come to you this morning, this is the third month in the brand new year of 2023. And we want to share with you some of our observations in the real estate market so far. Because there are those of you that are still on the fence, you're watching, you're wondering what you ought to do. And the market is vibrant, the market is ready. May I say, the market is waiting for you. And so we're going to talk a bit today with you about the things that we observe happening out there in the real estate marketplace.
Absolutely. You know, Mark, before you jump into it, one of the things that I noticed driving around this weekend that I haven't seen in a while is just on Saturday and Sunday, the amount of open house signs that I'm seeing around the neighborhoods.
Certainly. I happen to participate in a few. And I took a couple of my clients out, and it was surprising to me as well to see the number of agents. I mean, I went to one particularly on Saturday, and at 5:30 in the evening, when I took my client to see the house, there were 4 other agents coming at that time. The market is indeed vibrant.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know, and as you touched on it, we talk about this week in, week out. What's happening with the interest rates? What's happening with the prices? What's happening with the amount of homes that are available on the market? And certainly what you and I saw this weekend is an indication that the inventory is getting better. How do you feel about the prices? Where are the prices at? Are they staying steady? Are you seeing them coming down? Do you see an increase? What's happening there?
Well, my observation, for most part, is that house prices are basically leveling off. Yeah. There's not much shift. So those of you that are out there wondering and hoping and even praying that there's going to be a dip in prices, it is not happening in any significant way. Yeah. What I know is possible for you is that you are now in a position to negotiate with the sellers.
Absolutely, and I just share this as to support that thought. You know, just last night on a Sunday night, yes, we mortgage brokers still work on Sunday nights. I got a call from one of our agents that's working in the Atlanta area. And the offer right off the bat had about $7,000 in seller's credit, which was accepted.
Yes.
And that was a thing that was not present this time last year. Seller credits at the initial offering. So what that is indicating to us is that the sellers out there are starting to realize the importance of the buyers. They're starting to offer incentives for these buyers to help them purchase that first home or help them purchase that next home. So that to me is a big indicator of the shift that we're seeing from this seller's market to a buyer's market. More inventory, sellers willing right off the bat to give some sort of credits to help you get into those homes and offset your cost.
Yes, and so if you are on the fence, you need to get active. You need to call me. That's Mark Hardy at 754-269-870. But before you, while you are reaching out to me, actually, you also need to be pre-approved.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where you come in, Earon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As far as, the biggest thing that everyone always asks when it comes to that pre-approval process is, one, when you pull my credit, is it going to be a hard inquiry and am I going to lose points? And secondly, what's the interest rate that you're going to be able to give me? So let's address the credit portion first.
Yes.
What we do here as a practice, if a client says in our initial conversations they have concerns about credit, they have concerns about the hard inquiry, we tend to do a soft pull. We tend to do a soft pull so that you're only getting a peak. You don't get a hard hit on your credit report,
Yes.
and you don't lose any points. But that gives me enough information to be able to readily review and advise you as what we could approve you for. Now, secondly, interest rates. Listen, the interest rates have been remaining pretty steady since I'm going to go back all the way to the second or third week of January. You see a little bit of you go from a 6.125 to a 6, or you might go to a 6.25 back to a 5.875. Granted, over the grand scheme of things, that does impact, your savings and how much the house costs you. But you're not talking hundreds of dollars here on a monthly payment. You're talking $15-20 one way or the other.
Yes.
So I always say this to clients, is $15 going to stop you from getting the home that you want? The opportunity to refinance at a later time, should we end up in a situation, hopefully it's not as a cause of a COVID type situation or a global pandemic situation, but should we end up into a market where refinancing is a good thing, interest rates come down 1, 2, 3 points, you always have that option to refinance. So get the home you love now. Okay, it might cost you an extra $15 a month. A year or two down the road, rates get better. You refinance it and save yourself hundreds of dollars at that point per month. So,
it is said that some people have been spoiled because coming out of COVID, there had to be some adjustments made to facilitate that energy that we need in the market, that kind of injection.
Right.
So when persons saw those low interest rates, and they tend to want to think that anything above what we had, 3.9, they're about going up, it's out of the ordinary.
Well, it's not out of the ordinary, but their perception is not wrong either, right? Because during the COVID years, if you were able to secure a 3% rate on a $300,000 purchase, and you're looking at now the same $300,000 purchase with maybe a 5% rate, it is going to impact your principal and interest portion of that payment. But also understand that market has changed. Okay.
Yes.
That COVID market where the powers that be did what they had to do to keep the housing market and the global economy as a whole stabilized, right? Because as the U.S. goes, so does the rest of the world. So with that being said, now that we are out of that and we're going back into a more stable economy, you're seeing job growth, you're seeing the GDP numbers stabilizing and so forth. Even inflation, which was a big topic of discussion the last few months, that's starting to levelize too.
Certainly.
So what you're going to see, all the indicators, all the market trends, all the pointers as to tell you what's going to happen in the financial markets, they're level.
Yes.
They're stable.
Yes. And that's why, as you have observed this weekend, and it has been that way for a bit now, and even becoming a little bit more active.
It's been more active. That is
yes.
definitely the right word. More activity is happening in the market right now with as far as inventory coming on the market. Which, what does that mean? Options.
Options are there.
Options.
Yes.
So when Mr. Seller sees Mark walk in with his client, he better hold on to Mark because there's another option 2 blocks over
Certainly.
that might be better.
And that puts you in that position again, as we say, to engage with your seller.
Yes.
we also observe, and it has been the trend for quite a bit, out-of-state buyers and investors are coming into the market because the Florida market is in high demand.
Absolutely. Mark, you missed it last week, but we touched on that a little bit as well. There was a stat that came out that showed about 300,000 plus additional people moved to Florida last year during 2022. I think the average per day is about 1,000 people moved to Florida daily. Why? We live in paradise. We live where everybody wants to go to the beach. Everybody, the party life, if you're into that, or if it's just simply relaxation, retirement.
Yes.
It is all here. And especially the South Florida market, it is the height and the peak of Florida overall. So we tend to see a lot more influx from out-of-state persons because of the draw of Florida, which conversely makes it a little bit more challenging for our homegrown.
Yes,
you
investors and buyers.
Our
The
folks that live
competition is here.
The competition is there, but that should not deter you. Take that as motivation. There are people coming here to purchase where you live.
So
There's something good about it.
Don't
so
ignore
you
that.
you need to get in on it before they take up all your potential gains and profits.
And in saying that, one of our observations too is the fact that coming into this year, rent prices have shot up.
One of the things, a friend of mine reached out to me maybe a week or so ago, and that looking to rent a place. And the requirements, she sent over the lease agreement for me to review it for. Just give her some insight, all right?
Yes.
And the lease agreement was asking for one, that her income be 3 times the rent, which is about $2,100 a month was the rent, right? It was also asking for her to secure the property to put 3 months worth of deposit. First, last, and security, right?
Right.
So, quick math, that is what, about $6,300? That is a very
And that's deposit.
That is just a deposit to go pay someone else's mortgage, right? How about making that same $6,100 or $6,300 deposit on your own mortgage?
That's the point I have often made to a number of potential clients of mine. Because when you do pay rent, people enter into business to make a profit.
Absolutely.
And the rental business
Absolutely.
is a profitable business.
It's just that. It's another business entity, right?
Yes.
And let's face it out there, people. If you're listening, listen to this keenly. There's no business that is out there that is going to operate at a loss and operate at a loss for a very long time. So when they set these rental prices, be sure that you are covering Mr. Landlord's mortgage, you are covering his taxes, you are also covering his insurance, and then you're also his maintenance, and you are also covering his profit margin.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So depending on what Mr. Landlord has set at his profit margin, you might be paying an extra 20 or 30% to him just to be able to live there, where you could be putting that money into your own asset, building your own equity, potentially turning yourself into a landlord down the road.
Who knows? Who knows? And now is the time when you really need to take a look. If you are paying rent, you need to make an assessment of your own situation, and you need to begin to talk with a real estate agent. Call me. Yes, 754-269-8704. Call Earon at
954-890-4320, or you can always reach us on any of the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, centurypointlending.com.
Yes, and we are here to help you because we need to get you into your home.
Yes. So, Mark, last week we kind of ended on giving a final note to the folks out there. And as we prepare and move into the next week, just real quick, off the cuff, what is one thing that you would tell any home buyer at this point, anyone who is sitting on the fence, what would you tell them to nudge them off that fence to get into the game?
In order for you to maximize on your own life and your own sense of being, you would want to invest in that which will take you into retirement. whatever you want to be and do with your life tomorrow, you need to begin today. And when you get into the other aspect of your life, when you're not as active and as able, you want to be sure at least you secure that roof over your head, as my father would say.
Well, listen, we all have to live somewhere, right?
Yes.
Let's use that need and create freedom. How? When we buy that first home, it may not necessarily be
Your
the
ideal
final
home.
home, okay?
Yes.
All right. But that home is going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to provide that roof over your head that you mentioned, which is so important. Two, it's also going to grow into equity, okay? And three, you will have, as much as you may not want, you can't truly quantify this in many cases, but the money you are putting into that house is somewhat of a short-term savings or long-term savings
Yes,
account,
long-term.
right? Because it's going to come back out at some point when you either sell it, refinance it, cash out that equity and use it on your next endeavor, okay? Or just straight up sell it and use the funds that you have accumulated there, aka equity, and move it over to your next venture.
Yes.
So many times I've seen folks where they sell their initial home, they're able to pay for college, pay off a car payment that they have, and still have quite a few $1,000s left to make a sizable down payment on their next home to keep their monthly payment and their costs comfortable. So the advice is get off the fence, get in the game. Let's get you guys pre-approved. Let's get you out to some of these home buyers, to these open houses that we are seeing popping up on the weekends.
Yes.
Let's keep Mr. Mark's phone ringing, keep him busy, burn the soles off his shoes. Guys, let's do this. Home ownership is the way. It's the key. Let's not sit around and waste time on it.
Step up in life and go for what you know.
You said it right, sir.
Gotta strive. Gotta strive. And so it
Or
is.
investing in real estate in Florida? Join Bishop Mark Hardy of Coldwell Banco, along with Tanya Palmer Lodge and Earon Lee of Century Point Lending Solutions, right here on Omega Radio every Monday at 11 a.m. for Let's Talk Real Estate, as they share with you everything you need to know to be successful in the real estate market. You can't afford to miss it.